Okay, a quick demonstration of joining and using a Jitsi online meeting. You will probably have received a link to your meeting in the meeting notification email, so there will be a link to click on which will take you to somewhere along the lines of this, where you've got the meet.jit.si and then the meeting name. It could be a random set of letters and numbers, or it could be something a bit more meaningful. You'll get something like this. This is in Chrome, might be slightly different. Firefox uses separate notifications for the microphone and camera, but it's asking for permission to use your microphone and camera, which you can either block or allow. Obviously, at the very least, you need the microphone, but you can switch each of them on and off during the meeting. So let's say allow, and here I am. I can ignore this Chrome extension up here, and here it's actually pre-filled for me because I've been testing this out. But in this box here, put a useful name so that people know who you are during the meeting, but also as you join the meeting, certainly with the setup I'm using here, you will go into a waiting room and the person hosting the meeting will want to know who you are so that they can decide whether to let you in or not. So there's join without audio if you want to. Audio here is muted. Video you can stop and mute, for want of a better term, the video, and then join the meeting with this button here. Now somewhere on my other screen, in this case, there's basically a knocking participant in the meeting, so I shall drop across to the other meeting window and allow myself in. And here we are in the meeting. If I just enable the camera again. Now what you're seeing here is the other participant, which is actually me in a different browser. Up in the window here, you're seeing a preview of what's on your own webcam, what other people are seeing. Might be slightly different quality, but that's basically the view that people are seeing. Down here you've got start and stop camera, and mute and unmute the microphone. Across here, and this might be of particular interest at the moment, these 4 squares, for want of a bit better term, are toggling the tile view, which basically means you see everybody and not just the person who is speaking. Although that was not necessarily the case where there's just 2 people, you're just seeing the other person, but here you're seeing my camera's used by Chrome. So the Firefox window here that's in the meeting is just showing a thumbnail because I've switched the camera off. So here we go, there's the 2 meetings there. I'm having a wonderfully exciting meeting with myself. And you could click it again to go back. I personally usually find that seeing everybody is the closer to a proper meeting if you're not actually just looking at a presentation. Down at the bottom left here you have 3 options. There's raise and lower your hand, which is a means of getting attention of the host or other people in the meeting. There's a sharing your screen, which I won't cover here, but you can share documents instead of the picture of you on the screen. And here, which is probably of most interest for the purposes of this video, there's a chat whereby you can click on it, as I have just done, and then type in a chat message here. That has gone to everybody. in the meeting. What you can also do, if you look at the corner of one of the participants, 3 little dots above each other, brings up a menu, and very democratic, anybody can kick anybody out and mute everybody in this this setup. But you can also send a private message, so that is a private message to me in the other window. And there we go, and it's highlighted in a different colour, and you can see who the message is to and who the conversation is, and it stays in that conversation. This little X will close that so that you can send a message excuse me, to everybody. The X here will close that window, but the chat remains there, so if you click on it again, the chat history will remain. You can mute. Ooh. That was a bad idea. I've got feedback. But you can mute and unmute yourself there. This is probably quite a good demonstration that if you've started speaking and you've forgotten to unmute yourself, it will just prompt you that perhaps you need to unmute yourself. And that's probably it for this setup. You can do various things like blurring background, which is not so good with a background like mine. You need a plain background, and sort out your camera and microphone problems. But probably for the purpose of this short video, the next thing to note is this big red telephone button in the middle, which is the one which allows you to leave the meeting. You just click on it and end of meeting, and hopefully that will be enough to just allow people to join and make reasonable use of the meeting without getting too lost in the means of actually communicating and using the setup that we've got. Thank you.